Hi, I'm Steve Thomas, this is Cacophony. Let's dive into some great music, and a piece from Wales to surprise and delight. One of the things I most enjoy about playing my horn at the moment is getting to play music that I've not done before. And of the things I've not done before, I really enjoy getting the chance to play pieces written by women, who are finally getting more of a look in. So hats off to the groups out there that are programming more adventurously. Sad to have to call it that, but there you go. And if you want me to come and play, stick a piece by a woman on the programme, and I'll be there. Last weekend it was my first time playing with the lovely people in the Norfolk Symphony Orchestra, where we performed this terrific piece, Penillion by Grace Williams. Penillion is a Welsh word meaning stanzas or verses. It describes a traditional singing style where vocalists improvise over a tune played usually on the harp. Neither vocals nor traditional tunes in Grace Williams' orchestral version. There is a harp though. Grace Williams was born in Wales in 1907, but moved to London to study and stayed there. The combination of the Second World War and London living didn't agree with her though, and in around 1943 she returned to Wales, where she restored her health and really discovered her creative mojo. And the musical muse that lifted her from person who wrote a bit in what little free time she had to full-time successful composer, the sort who got actually asked and paid to write music, that musical muse was Wales itself, the landscape, the people, and its deeply rooted legends and traditions. There's a poem by a man called Brian Harris, In Passing, and it contains the lines, "To be born in Wales, not with the silver spoon in your mouth, but with music in your blood and with poetry in your soul, is a privilege indeed." It was written well after Grace Williams wrote Penillion, but I can imagine she would concur. So, what does Welsh music sound like? Well, to my ears, and in this piece, often kind of Spanish. If the original Penillion style was an improvisation over a folk tune, it's that improv feel that Williams runs with here. And at the opening, the trumpet is the star. I love this in-the-moment feel of the trumpet singing over rocking strings. They sound like the gentle wash of waves on the shore, but that trumpet makes me feel like I'm in Spain or maybe Mexico. After this relaxed opening, the mood turns a bit darker as the first of these four movements progresses, but she conjures such a lovely sound from the orchestra. The second movement brings the trumpet back to the fore. It's fast, short, and I love the way she surprises us by playing with the lengths of the phrases. Listen out for the trumpet counter melody, where they sound like they're improvising on a totally different pace. The third movement is a slow one, with that lovely lush but sort of transparent string sound. This really sounds filmic to me. It reminds me of the exotic scene-setting moments of maybe an early James Bond film. Williams was one of the first women to write the score for a film, and we get more filmic music in the finale. It's epic stuff that feels like it belongs to a big-budget western or historical epic. A far cry from my stereotypical image of a lonely Welsh balladeer accompanied by a harp. But I don't know anything about Welsh ballads, Maybe they're all massively epic stuff too. It would be nice to think that the likes of John Barry or Miklos Roger, who wrote the music for the Bond films El Cid and Ben-Hur, were inspired by Williams' music, written just a handful of years before. But it's unlikely. Like much women's music, hers has slightly disappeared from view, to re-emerge only now. Many of her scores are lost entirely. There are only a couple of professional recordings of Penillion, and neither is currently available to buy. So it's to YouTube that we turn for this. Let's have a listen. Click on the link in the podcast notes, and then tell me what you think. Does this music make you think of Welsh mountains and valleys? You can leave a simple voice message or a comment at cacophonyonline.com. Please check out the notes for other ways to help Cacophony thrive and survive. There are links where you can make a donation and other things you can do, the best of which is to share the podcast with someone you know who'd enjoy this. Who are they? Make sure they get to hear it. Next time on Cacophony, we're talking about Paris riots and one of the most famous pieces of the 20th century. So come back for more next time, and thanks for listening.